what's up, America? Two horrible things that are about to happen in Indiana. So the first thing here in the state of Indiana is Governor Mike Braun signed a bill that criminalizes homeless camping, offering 60 days in jail and a fine for homeless people that are camping. So let me ask you a question real quick. How the fuck are homeless people gonna pay a fine for homeless camping when they're fucking homeless? And can you tell me what homeless people are supposed to do here in the state of Indiana? I guess it's just jail or die, huh? Wow, what a fucking insightful piece of legislation by Mike Braun. What a dumb fuck.
Well, here in Indiana, they're making it illegal to be homeless right after they cut funding to food pantries. And for all of you MAGA that say fake news, here you go. This is Senate Bill 285, which makes it illegal for you to camp, live in your vehicle anywhere on or near public land. Also, for you MAGAs that say fake news and prove it, here you go. This is where X amount of dollars in the billions has been cut out of the Indiana budget that was set aside for food pantries, for poor people, for children, for the elderly, for veterans. Does this make you happy, MAGA? Are you happy yet, MAGA? You guys have been awfully quiet. When I start pointing out the injustices, all you guys want to say is, but the previous administration, and the Bidenomics. When are you assholes ever going to silence and listen to reality?
How bad is the economy? Well, let me tell you something. It's so bad. This almost sounds like a joke, doesn't it? But it's not a joke. Man, this is not even funny. In Indianapolis to be specific, the state that I grew up in, by the way, graduate of Indiana University with a degree in economics, thank you very much. In Indianapolis, they have now a homeless park. Now, what this means is it's a place where people can go and park their cars and live out of their cars for 60 days without the fear of being pulled over by the police or shooed away or told to leave. And I'm assuming they must have porta potties there for sanitation. This started on October the 1st. And this is how bad our economy is. We are making a place for homeless people who have cars to be able to stay in. So that means these are not poor people. These are people who have driver's licenses, have cars, and they are struggling in this economy. And that's because inflation is killing the middle and lower income people. And I mean, this is a sign that we need a major change.
Giving out food to the homeless is now a finable offense, and the first fine is $250 and the second fine is $500 plus.
So in my neighbor state of Indiana, they just passed a new law or a new bill that slaps homeless people with a Class C misdemeanor, which can equal up to 60 days in jail and like a $15,000 or $5,000 fine or something for being homeless. Are you kidding me, bro? This is the sickest thing I've ever heard of. What has our government and humanity and our country come to? I've been homeless before. I've been homeless having to live in a vehicle. I've been homeless with nothing but the clothes on my back. And I'm going to share something, a little bit of vulnerability here. But in the winter, bro, years ago, I was literally having to sneak into apartment complexes at night and go into their laundry rooms to have a warm place to be out of the elements to sleep, bro. Go days without showering, having nobody to turn to, not having a vehicle, even a homeless shelter. Like, there's so many guidelines and stipulations to where you got to be there at a certain time, etc. And then on top of that, you got to be out at 6 a.m. Like, how are you supposed to get around? How are you supposed to do anything when you're homeless? You can't get a job because of how you look. You don't have anywhere to go or clean up. Like, their lives, homeless people's lives, are hard enough. They are hard enough. Now, there's going to be people out there, well, they're going to go to jail and get off the streets. No, cut the bullshit, man. This is about money, because the state gets money for every inmate they have housed, whether it's for a night or for 6 months or 60 days. They get X amount of dollars for every inmate per day, and it's in the thousands. It's absolutely ridiculous. Our country is run on money. It is a conglomerate. The state looks for any way they can to make a dollar here, and it doesn't affect the people that have the money. They do all of this nonsense to the lower middle class people that can't afford it. How is a homeless person going to change their situation? By getting arrested and giving them more problems to deal with? Not every homeless person is a drug addict, and people are not out there by choice. This is absolutely ridiculous, dude. I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
So, effective July 1st, 2026, this law will be taking place in the state of Indiana. The whole point of this, my understanding, is to connect people to services. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that is so nice, kind, pro-life, whatever. And then you get into the nitty-gritty of it and you wonder, well, are these the same services you're talking about that you've cut funding to? Like public health. Public health funding was cut 70%, 70% for this fiscal year in the state of Indiana. Homelessness has more than doubled in this state of Indiana since 2019. And instead of affordable housing, your idea is, let's criminalize homelessness. That's a great, fantastic idea. Mike Ron, there is nothing, not a single thing, not a fucking bone in your body that is pro-life. None. Zilch. Zero. Baby, your ass goes home to a 9,787 square foot home that sits on 160 acres of land with a barn and a helicopter pad. You also have the governor's residence that is 10,500 square feet. Look, I work for a mental health center, a community mental health center. I serve the most vulnerable populations. More specifically, my job is to coordinate care for people experiencing a mental health crisis. So I talk to probably at least one homeless person a day. And if they aren't homeless, they're experiencing inadequate housing. They're about to get evicted, their waters got turned off, whatever it may be. I can't tell you how soul-crushing it is to tell a woman, a man, a family, there's no beds available at these shelters. And it's going to take 3 to 6 months to get you up somewhere with our housing department. We already lack the resources. So when these calls start coming in, I'm going to start turning them into your office, because I know what a good Christian man you are. You want to talk to these people one-on-one, right? And you put them up for the night in your 9,787 square foot home. You put them up. You give them a nice hot meal. Because that's the good, nice, pro-life Christian thing to do, isn't it, Mike? Right? This is pathetic. It's funny how we always have the money to fund wars and fund violence, but when it's time to actually take care of the people, that money just disappears, doesn't it?
What's up, America? 2 horrible things that are about to happen in Indiana. So the first thing here in the state of Indiana is Governor Mike Braun signed a bill that criminalizes homeless camping, offering 60 days in jail and a fine for homeless people that are camping. So let me ask you a question real quick. How the fuck are homeless people gonna pay a fine for homeless camping when they're fucking homeless? And can you tell me what homeless homeless people are supposed to do here in the state of Indiana. I guess it's just jail or die, huh? Wow, what a fucking insightful piece of legislation by Mike Braun. What a dumb fuck. And then apparently another bill that was signed means that companies don't have to track how many hours minors work. So most states have a limit as how long minors can work per week. Not Indiana. No, a company that employs underage workers sponsored a bill to make it so they don't have to track minor hours anymore. And guess what? It passed with flying fucking colors. And he's signing it now. Oh, I'm sorry, he already signed both of those. So we've effectively gone back to the 1910s. This means that they don't have to fucking monitor when minors come to work, so there's no more fines. Remember, there's no work permits, and they stripped the Department of Education of the oversight of child labor here in Indiana. Jesus fucking Christ, what a horrible fucking move. So they're saying that they can hire more teen workers and that would help the state of Indiana. Unfortunately, these bills are sponsored by state senators and Congress people that own businesses that employ minors mostly. So gee, talk about a conflict of interest, but here in Indiana, that shit flies. So Indiana's labor laws effectively pulled back to 1910 today. And we've criminalized homeless to the point where now you have to pay a fine and go to jail if you get kicked out of your house and have to live in a tent. Jesus Christ, we fucking suck here.
Have Indiana lawmakers gone mad? I'm afraid so. Entirely bonkers. Yes, I'm talking about Indiana now making homelessness a crime. A Class C misdemeanor, punishable by up to 60 days in jail and a fine. But like 40% of us are one disaster away from being homeless. I attended Nick Neal's fundraiser last night to where he brought up a good point. When a person is charged with a misdemeanor, it then shows up on their record. Generally, a homeless person is already down and out on their luck. Now we've marked their record with a misdemeanor, making them possibly ineligible to be hired elsewhere. So instead of fixing a problem, we've emboldened a system of oppression for these already struggling persons. Great point, Nick. This week, I also heard Stephen Flores, running for Lake County, Indiana sheriff, speak. He enlightened the group that it takes Indiana about $157, I think it was, a day to hold an inmate. 157 times 60? $9,420.
Ever notice how public space is only public for some people? Parks, sidewalks, benches, they're supposed to belong to everyone, right? But the moment you're unhoused, poor, a teenager, or just not the right kind of resident, watch how fast that space turns against you. You got loitering laws, you got anti-homeless architecture, constant police presence like it's someone's front yard or something. And now, Indiana lawmakers are still trying to criminalize homelessness, literally making it illegal to exist in public if you don't have a home. Bills have been introduced to fine or jail people for sleeping outside. One even tried to let private citizens sue cities for not kicking unhoused people out. And this isn't about safety. It's about social control, surveillance, and selective enforcement. Who gets comfort and who gets criminalized. Skaters, teens, unhoused folks pushed out, but joggers with earbuds and touristy people taking selfies, that's not a problem. Public space is supposed to mean everyone belongs. But when the law decides who gets to rest and who gets to gather and who gets to just be, it stops being public. It becomes a filter, a stage, a test for who your city thinks is worthy. If you've ever felt like a trespasser in your own neighborhood, you're not alone. So let me know if you've seen public space used to push people out and not bring people together.
Well, here in Indiana, they're making it illegal to be homeless right after they cut funding to food pantries. And for all of you MAGA that say fake news, here you go. This is Senate Bill 285, which makes it illegal for you to camp, live in your vehicle anywhere on or near public land. Also, for you MAGAs that say fake news and prove it, here you go. This is where X amount of dollars in the billions has been cut out of the Indiana budget that was set aside for food pantries, for poor people, for children, for the elderly, for veterans. Does this make you happy, MAGA? Are you happy yet, MAGA? You guys have been awfully quiet. When I start pointing out the injustices, all you guys want to say is, but the previous administration, and the Bidenomics. When are you assholes ever going to silence?
My name is Tracy. I was homeless off and on for 10 years, and I do stories about homelessness. And I'm trying to highlight what's going on right now in the state of Indiana. So Indiana House passes a bill to jail homeless persons. By a 52-40 vote, the Indiana House passed a Senate bill that would empower law enforcement to arrest homeless persons and charge them with a C misdemeanor should they be found sleeping or camping on public property and refusing a referral to emergency shelter services. Now, I know a lot of people are not familiar with emergency shelter services, but shelter services in most cases are basically a crowded cot in a warehouse. Many times they're not safe. I know to some people it's like, well, are people better off inside than outside? No, not always. Imagine having to sleep next to basically the feet of someone you don't know, especially if you've already been traumatized, especially for like younger women in different situations. It's not necessarily a safe place. But this is just another example of a state that is criminalizing homelessness as we head into what is probably going to be a depression or a recession.
So guys, they are taking actions against the homeless people. So the real question is, why are so many homeless people in the most developed country in the world? With the economy like this, with the bill like this, it's sooner or later that we will be in the streets.